it's me, it's Maxi Monroe, and I'm on my mat, but you can follow me on Instagram at Maxi Monroe _ on the couch. There, I'm trying to bring episodes to entertain during isolation and a very difficult time. I haven't been able to do anything lately because I can't get any of the guests that I was hoping to get. So, but I will. I have a priority to do some work, even to change it up a bit in the new year. So I will keep you informed. So in this routine, I did do something earlier that was more strength training, upper body workout. This is all, again, abdominal work. It's crunching and some different exercises that I've done. It is going to be back to back. I will modify because my neck is not really working with me right now, so it is a little bit got a lot of tension in it. So I will show you what I would do. I'll show you the actual technique of the exercise, but I will modify. So we're going to start with a crunch, and in this one we're going to go into what we call a high crunch. So all you need for this routine is probably going to be under 20 minutes. Make sure you have your water. You just need a mat. Remember, I'm trying to bring this to you because you can do this at home. Yeah, we're all going through this together. It's the week of Christmas. It's really, really hard when your focus isn't there, but I'm trying to do this alongside you to help you and help me. So with the crunch, what we're going to do is we're going to do what we call a high crunch. So with a high crunch, you're thinking about bringing those shoulders off the mat, and where you modify is you can place your hands behind your head to help support the neck. I'm going to start without that, and then I'll probably add it in as I go along. So with the high crunch, what we're thinking about doing is we're coming off the mat into that high position, and then what we're going to do is we're actually just crunching forward for 10 counts. We're at 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We're going to hold that position now for another 5 counts. And then release. We're going to do 2 more sets of that. So again, you're going to come up high. Again, modify by placing your hands behind your head. And again, pulsing up for 10 counts. Try not to crunch the neck too far forward. You want to try to keep your eye line so that it's right at the knees to protect that neck. Don't forget to breathe. I'm going to hold for 5 seconds. And 1, and release. I'm going to rock my head back and forth. That helps to release any tension. And again, I'm raising those shoulders off the mat into a high position. I can be in this position, this position. This is also one that gives you a lot more challenge. And I'm going to pulse. Sorry, I should have been pulsing. You will feel this if you get into the 3rd set and you haven't been doing crunches for a while. And you're going to hold the position for 5 seconds. And then you're going to release. Okay, so I'm going to just rock my neck, or my head, sorry, back and forth, not my neck. I'm going to bring those feet up so that I'm in this tabletop position. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come up, and now I'm just going to shoot those legs out. So I'm just extending those legs. So I want to do 20 or 10 on each leg. And again, modification like this, or you could be down doing it if you find that it's just too hard. So always remember there are modifications on every type of exercise, most of them, especially with mat work. And again, the 2 positions of hands behind the neck or hands just out to the side. Okay, and I'm just going to do 1 more on each side. And I'm going to bring my head down. I'm going to release the tension in my neck by rocking my head back and forth. And in the next exercise, I'm basically going to be coming down and up. It's just a really slight movement of my body going up and down into kind of a light little crunch. So I'm not going to actually touch my feet on the mat. I'm almost having it hover just over the mat. And I'm going to do 10 of these. And again, the modification is you're going to keep the hands behind the neck. It's really a subtle movement, so we're going to do a stretch for the abdominals after this one, and then we're going to go into one where the legs are going to be extended kind of on an angle like this, and then we're going to do arm circles as we do that. So we're kind of up doing arm circles and keeping our legs straight and still, which challenges the abdominals. Okay, so bringing your body back down. A good stretch for the abdominals, just for a moment, is if you take your arms and legs and you kind of pull away from your feet and your hands. And then sometimes I like to do this, which just helps to release any tension in the back as well. Okay, and then my neck as well. So just remember to do that little bit of stretching. Okay, for the next exercise, we're going to have our legs extended. Now, the lower the legs, the more challenging it is. You can actually do it like this. The idea of the exercise is that you're up and then you're just doing arm circles. Now I just have to move because I'm hitting my wall here. There's always challenges when you have a small space. So again, the lower the legs, the harder it is. So you can be up here if you find it a little bit too much challenging. And again, this is going to be challenging for me because of my neck. I'm going to just do a couple more. Okay, and then I'm going to release the tension in my neck by rocking that head back and forth. We're going to go into a jackknife. It's also very challenging. Okay, and I'm just going to make sure my back is okay. So with the jackknife, my arms and legs are basically going to be up towards the ceiling. And I'm up like this, and then you're just bringing the arms and legs down. We're just going to do 10 of these. We're going to do an oblique exercise next, which I've actually taught in another exercise. Now, if you find it hard, like I do for my neck, I just rest my neck down on the mat. I can still do the movement. And again, the actual exercise is that your head is up and you're extending those arms and legs back and forth. Okay, for the next one, I'm just going to again just stretch a little bit. We're going to do this exercise for obliques. Your feet are pointing towards the ceiling, and I have taught this. You're going to have your hands behind your head, and the idea of the exercise, you're going to take your right hand and you're going to reach towards your left foot. So it's alternating. So that really works the obliques. So I'm going to do 10 towards my left foot, and then do opposite hand to opposite foot. Once we're done this, we're going to do what we call bird dog. So that's going to be on your knees and your hands, just to give you a little bit of a rest from the abdominals, and then working on your balance. And then we're going to do dead bug, which is another oblique exercise. Okay, we're going to switch legs, or switch hands, sorry, to opposite leg. Hope you're doing okay. Take a rest if you need to. And any plans for the holidays? Yeah, I know. I hear you. Like, how can you plan anything? It's just really challenging. Globally, it's a real challenge right now for everyone. Okay, so we're done that. We're gonna just give my back a little bit of break there. Stretch those abdominals by stretching the arms. And the legs, or the hands and the feet, are pulling away from each other so that you can get that nice stretch in the abdominal. Okay, so we're going to get on our hands and our knees. And with this exercise, you're basically thinking about keeping the abdominals nice and tight. you want to think about that balance of extending opposite arm and leg out, and you're holding for a second and then bring those back in. You want to try to keep your head in line of your spine as well. So this is actually called bird dog. You've probably heard it because I know I've shown it in other videos. It's really good for balance. Make sure to breathe and exhale. Inhale as you bring those arms and legs together. 2 more on each side. And just 1 more, and then we're going to be back on our back. We're going to go into what we call dead bug. So it's kind of like the last exercise for the obliques. This one also is for the obliques. You're going to get on your back. You're going to have your arms and your legs up towards the ceiling. Your head actually gets to stay on the mat. You're going to lower right arm and right leg at the same time. So right arm and right leg, and then left arm and left leg. So you alternate. We're doing 4 on each side, so I'm at 3 and 4. Then you're going to do arms and legs, all of them together. So almost like that jackknife. Okay, and then again, alternating arm and leg. 2 more on each side. Okay, and our last one, and then 1 more set, both arm and legs down. Let's do 3 more, and 2 more, and 1 more. Okay, perfect. Okay, now what we're gonna do is we're going to extend the legs out, and we're going to go into a position where we're kind of holding our upper body and our legs out. So the legs are going to be in a position where they're extended, and you're going to come up and count for 10 like this, and then back down. Modifications are, you can have the legs up higher, extended, and you can have your hands behind your head, or you could just have your legs out, extended where you feel is best for you. Always remember, you're practiced safely and you're protecting the back always, and the neck, because I have the same issue. Okay, so we're gonna go up for 10, then down for 5 seconds. We're gonna do 3 sets of that. So are you ready? Let's go up for 10 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and then coming back down. And don't plop down. Make sure you're really watching what you're doing, because you could do that and injure yourself. So it's important to always do that. So we're going up for 10 seconds again. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, and release down for 5 seconds. Last set, and we'll modify it so that you know how to modify. And again, so modifications, I can be up higher or legs lower, hands behind the head. Or hands can be like this, or like this. This is going to be the more challenging one with the arms behind the head. We're going to do our next exercise from here. Very similar position, but we're going to scissor the legs for 20 seconds. And again, modification, so you're going to bring those legs out. The higher the legs are, the easier it is on you. So if you go lower and scissor, that's harder. So the position, let's start counting. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 11, and 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And I'm going to continue just because I wanted to add a few extra. Remember, modification is this way. So scissoring the legs really challenges. Okay, bring those legs in, rock from back and forth, release, give that neck a little bit of release. Okay, we're going to do a side crunch, And then we're gonna end with a plank. Okay, we're almost there. You are getting through it just like me. So on to do this one, where we're doing kind of a side crunch, I'm gonna do one side and then switch to the other side. I'm gonna come down, my body's nice and long, and the idea of this exercise is you're coming up and down. So you're kind of bringing elbow to knee and down. So that's for the obliques. Perfect. And so we're going to do 10 of these, and then I'm going to show you one other exercise that you can do from this position. So I always add the odd exercise as I'm doing these to challenge other parts of our body. Just be mindful of your shoulder, the one that's actually here, because I know it actually, if you find it really tough, you could also modify, bring your body up like that in this position, and then it could just be a very small kind of side crunch. So just in case there are some issues with your shoulder, be mindful of any injuries. You don't want to actually stress those parts of the body, especially right now. Okay, so we're going to bring that leg in, and I've done this one. This is just working the inside of the leg. Just to add a bit more, and then I got one more for the obliques that I typically do, so I'm just gonna do a couple more. I'll do 10 or 15, you know, depending. Sometimes I'll do 2-3 sets when I'm doing mat work, just depending on my time. So, okay, so this one, what we're doing is we're basically in this position, and we're thinking about just crunching up to the side. Sometimes I actually feel the oblique, which they call, when you tactile the muscle, it engages the muscle, it makes you focus. We're just gonna do a couple of these. They're not easy to do. Actually, you could bring both your knees together. Sorry, I should have done that. The way I was doing it was a little bit more challenging. And you need to do this with your hands behind your head as well. I think if you do it this way, you could, but I find with it, with your hands behind your head, it actually supports the neck really well. Okay, let's do the other side. We're almost there. One more set of this. We do a plank and you're done. This is it for your abdominal exercises. So again, you're crunching up. I always find one side is awkward. This is my awkward side. So don't worry if it feels awkward. It's normal. And again, you can do 10 to 15 of these. You can always add more. Once you learn an exercise, if you find there's a couple exercises you like, you can create your own fitness routine. You can look at lots of different videos. I do. I've got books. I've practiced lots of different types of fitness. So I'm just teaching you what I've done over the years and then incorporating from other individuals that teach fitness as well. Especially the ones that are teaching on YouTube and, you know, work off a mat. So, okay, so we're doing the inner leg. Got to work all those muscles. Well, it is getting to be Christmas and winter where I am. And we're in lockdown still, so it looks like it's going to be extended another month, and it's probably going to go for even more months after that, which means my gyms will not be open, probably not till the spring. So I have to basically do my workouts the best I can from my home, and this is why I'm trying to teach you to do it and make you feel like it's normal. We're in this together. Just a couple more. Okay, you're done. Take a sip of water. We're gonna do one more exercise and then just stretch a little bit of our upper back and you will be done for the day. So with planks, always remember, you wanna make sure that you're focused to engage the abdominal muscle so that it's protecting the back, because the back is the one that actually will hurt in a plank position. So now you can modify it by having knees down as well if you find it too tough. We won't do it for very long. I just want to get you more focused on technique. So what I typically do with a plank is, if I haven't done it for a while, I'll do it for 15 seconds, work up to 30 seconds, go up to 45 seconds and do a minute. And then I just keep increasing it. You can challenge also by putting a weight on the back. That will actually challenge more of the core. Or you can extend one arm out and then the other arm out, which is very challenging. Okay, let's go into child's pose. Just to release any tension. And just a couple more stretches, and then you'll be good to go. So just getting our upper body stretched, our neck, and mermaid, which I've taught before, which is a Pilates exercise. So what is going on in your world? And what restrictions do you have where you are? I just feel like this holiday season is one that's going to be the most different for all of us. I don't think there's anyone in this global environment that's not dealing with something that just seems, what is going on? Most people are saying like they're tired of it, but we have no choice. And you know, we're living in times where we have access to so much. And I know I talk to people all the time, and I do work at another job, so I do see people that come across where I work. I am protected. I do have masks and plexiglass in front of me, but I do see the stress from many people. So, okay, we're done, and thank you for joining me for another fitness routine. I hope you got some of these exercises. Don't worry, you don't have to know them so well. It's about just doing something, being active. You know, I need this as much as you do. I struggle if I don't do some kind of fitness. Oh yeah, I go stir crazy. So please stay well, stay healthy. Go get your water, drink up a couple glasses, and I will see you soon. I promise I will keep bringing videos to you the best I can. I am in the new year going to change it up a bit. I've got something new that I'm working on, so it won't be fitness, it'll be something totally different, something that I'm still trying to grasp. So I hope you continue to watch me on YouTube. It's Maxi Monroe on YouTube, so make sure not to go to On the Couch Maxi, go to Maxi space Monroe and you'll find videos there. Okay, so if you celebrate Christmas, happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Hanukkah just happened. If you want to talk to me, you can message me on Instagram always. I do look at the messages that come in, and if you have anything you want to provide or critique, I accept. I will take that. Okay, so go get your water. I'll see you soon on the couch with Maxi Monroe, and stay well. Hugs.